Good morning, dear people of God. I want to welcome you to the Tower Farm. And if this is your first time here, I'll just share a few things about the Tower Farm before we get into what I have for you today. The Tower Farm is a organic operation here, and our focus is to raise healthy food, because we believe that to be successful, your body, your soul, and your spirit have to be in synergy. You now have to learn how to take care of your body and your soul. And if you are joining us for the first time, please can you invite some other people to join us. I have a very important message that I'm going to share with us today. I'm actually standing in a field that is going to be planted today. We've plowed it and we're going to sow some seeds, and that's why I'm going to be talking about sowing seeds and why it's very important for you to sow seeds, to sow abundant seeds, to sow seeds regularly, to sow seeds at all times. Somebody has said the best time to plant a tree was yesterday. Most of us don't plant a tree because we're thinking, am I going to live long enough to benefit from my labor? If I plant a tree today, will I be around when the tree start producing? And some people will conclude that, oh, I'm going to die before time, so they don't plant anything in place. When you have an abundant mindset, you have to think beyond you. The best time to plant a tree was yesterday. There is no other person to learn about planting seeds, sowing, than the master himself. I take my inspiration from the Bible. And so today I'm going to be reading to you the parable of the sower, and I'll just point out a few things that help us realize why it's important for us to sow seeds and to sow a lot of seeds. Now, this is what Jesus said. Again, Jesus began to teach by the lake. I'm reading from Mark chapter 14, Mark chapter 4, from verse 1. And I'm going to read just the parable today, say a few things, and next time we'll focus on the interpretation that Jesus gave. So today is just a parable. Again, Jesus began to teach by the lake. The crowd that gathered around him was so large that he got into a boat and sat in it out on the lake, while all the people were along the shore at the water's edge. He taught them many things by parables, and in his teaching he said, now Jesus taught by parables so that the people could think and meditate upon what he was teaching them, so that through the process of thinking and reflection, they'll be able, if they can solve this puzzle piece, have the ability to apply the information or the knowledge into their own lives. Now, this is what Jesus said. He said, listen, a farmer went out to sow his seed. As he was scattering the seeds, some fell along the path, and birds came and ate it up. Some fell on rocky places where it did not have much soil. It sprang up quickly because the soil was shallow. But when the sun came up, the plants were scorched and they withered because they had no root. Other seeds fell among thorns, which grew up and choked the plants so that they did not bear grain. Still, others fell on good soil. It came up, grew, and produced a crop, some multiplying 30, some 60, some 100. four things happened to the seeds that the farmer scattered. Some fell on the road. Birds just easily picked those because they were not buried. Some fell among thorns and got choked. And some fell on the rock. The soil was too shallow and the plants died. However, some fell on good soil. Now, if you look at it, this farmer failed 3 times. He only succeeded once. The seeds that fell on the road did not do well. Those on the rocks did not do well. Those on the thorns did not do well. However, he succeeded because eventually some of the seeds fell on fertile soil. Most of us don't like failure. Most of us don't like to make mistakes. I'm not saying that you should go out there and purposely fail or purposely make a mistake. However, if you're not making mistakes, if you're not experiencing setbacks and failures, you are not pushing yourself hard enough. Each time you are going to set out to do anything, you are going to experience failure, you're going to experience setbacks, you're going to experience mistakes. If you want everything to be perfect, if you want everything to succeed without you making mistakes and experiencing failure, you are not going to go anywhere. This farmer went out with the intention of succeeding. He wanted his seeds to do well. That's why he was scattering them. However, only 1/3 was successful because some seeds fell in 3 different areas that yielded results that were not desirable. So you should not allow momentary failures and setbacks to prevent you from moving towards the goal that you've set for yourself. If this farmer second-guessed himself and stopped sowing the seeds, he would have missed out on the seeds that fell on the good soil. I want to encourage you today to keep your eye on the end goal. If you've made mistakes, if you failed, you have to pick yourself up and keep going. There are 3 things I'm going to leave you with today pertaining to this parable when it comes to sowing seeds. Remember this, all your seeds will not make it. All your seeds will not make it. You're going to help a lot of people and very few will say thank you. Very few will appreciate you. That should not prevent you from helping people. That should not prevent you from taking care of people. Jesus himself healed 10 lepers and only 1 came back to say thank you. To make matters worse, that one that came back to him was a Samaritan. The Jews, who were from the same ethnic group like Jesus, did not even care to come and tell him thank you. For those of you who have been bent by people taking your generosity for granted, by people taking your hospitality for granted, the Bible says that you should not be weary of doing good. Don't be weary. Please, keep sowing those seeds of goodness. Keep sowing those seeds of encouragement. Keep sowing your seeds. Keep sowing your seeds. You have to sow plenty of seeds because we know what? Not all the seeds are going to grow. Some will grow, they will die. Some will be eaten by the birds. So each time you are trying to make progress and people are pulling you back, remember the birds. May just be the birds are eating up your seeds. Maybe the seeds do not fall on the right ground. But keep sowing. If you keep sowing, you are eventually going to reap plenty. The other thing is this. All your seeds are not going to have the same yield. We've read here that even those seeds that fell on the good soil, when they were multiplying, some multiplied 30 times, some 60, and some 100 times. The same seeds, all on good soil. However, the outcome was not the same. Unfortunately, today there is so much talk about equality, equity, blah, 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 blah. Look at your fingers. They are not the same. If all the fingers were the same, you will not be able to grip something. And so, the inequalities that we have, there is a reason and a purpose for it. Don't expect everybody to be the same. Don't expect everybody to treat you the same. There is inequality, and you're not going to have the same outcome from all the seeds that you are sowing. Please don't expect everybody to respond to you the same. You are setting up yourself up for a lot of trouble if you think that since I did X to Y, Y and W are going to respond the same way. No, the results are not going to be the same. The third thing is this. All the harvest you will get is limited by the quantity of seeds you sow. You are the sower. You are in charge. The outcome is in your hands. If you sow sparingly, you're going to harvest sparingly. If you sow bountifully, you are going to harvest bountifully. Remember, it's a numbers game. Jesus healed 10 people, 1 person came back. Maybe if you heal 20, 2 people will come back. So you have to know that the more seeds you spread out, the more you are going to harvest. I'm just here to encourage you. You have the future in your hands. The seeds you are sowing today are already determining the type of harvest you are going to get. If I were you, I would plant as many seeds as I can, as I humanly possibly can plant. Plant many seeds, and you are setting up yourself for a lot of success. I mean, some of us have just one job. We depend on that job, and the job is not giving us enough resources that we need. Yeah, it's a time for you to open a second income stream. If you are a teacher, for example, why are you not organizing private classes? If you are a store owner, why are you not thinking about opening a second store? You have to think. The more income streams you have, the better for you. Scatter your seeds abroad, a lot of seeds, and you will reap a bountiful harvest. Remember, all your seeds will not germinate, so plant a lot. All your seeds will not have the same yield. Don't expect people to all be the same. And lastly, the more you sow, the more you're going to harvest. Next time, we're going to talk about a personal application that relates to you, the sower. Today, I focused on what planting a seed is going to do for you. We're going to look at the interpretation that Jesus gave regarding this parable and how we can benefit from it. To wrap it up, I've said the power of your future is in your hands. You reap what you sow, the more seeds you sow, increase. Thank you for watching and share this video. If you have any questions, put them on the comment section and I will respond to them. Until next time, God bless you.